So I'm not living my life for anybody. I'm not here to prepare you.
Yeah.
I'm not here to show you the car I'm driving. You know, man, 50K for 5 minutes. Jeez, that was.
Waiting that they can't talk.
That was mad, you know. And I remember getting back home, taking 20K and practically stoning my wife with the 20K. Say, man, take and enjoy.
Go on, enjoy yourself.
Muteefe had a conversation with me that he was charging 3,000 naira to have people chat with him. I'm like, what? 3,000 to chat? Where? Facebook Messenger. I said to Mute, I will charge 5,000. Back then in Futo, the girls loved the guys who had the brains, and the girls loved the guys who are bad guys. You get? So imagine you now combine being a bad guy and then you had brains.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneurs Connect show. Like you know, in this show, what we are basically doing is letting African entrepreneurs tell their stories so you can learn vital lessons and implement immediately in your life and business. And without wasting much of your time, in today's show, we have a very special guest in the house. I'm super pumped and excited for this one because somebody that you would love to meet. Okay, today we have the sage, the Don, Emeka Nobis in the house today. How are you doing, sir? Welcome. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Connect show.
Good to be here.
How do you feel today?
This is my first time to be on a set like this with these mics.
Beautiful. We're going to have an exciting episode today. I think this is going to be one of the iconic episodes. We're going to make magic, absolutely. Right. Basically, I want to start off by discussing how you move from engineering to now engineering money to people's bank accounts. All right. So I'd like us to meet Mr. Emeka Nobis. I know you already, but I want to tell us a story. What was growing up like for you?
Okay, so growing up wasn't, I think I would say we're in the middle, so to say, middle class income earners at the time, because my dad was working for the government and my mom was also working for the government as a teacher before he resigned, to start his own venture into agricultural produce, basically. So by the time we were just an average income earning family. It wasn't that we were poor or we were rich, but just at the middle, But things began to take a turn in 1991 when my father eventually decided to resign from his job.
Was there a reason he decided to resign?
Well, he wanted to because at the time he felt it was time for him to give his energies to his farm at the time. My father had 400 plots of land at the time, and then. Because when you do, I think my father took a very drastic decision at the time. He didn't really plan, so to say. He just felt okay. By the time he would get out of the job and focus on his farm, money would start coming in. But it took a while. It took like 2 to 4 years before he could eventually start finding his footing. So that was when we started experiencing some painful moments of our lives. But between the time I was born, July 1st, 1980, till the time 1991, it was relatively a fair life. Growing up in the city of Owerri, Federal Housing, from Aladima to Federal Housing, and then over to World Bank. So it was really, we're not the best of schools, but we're in quite good schools at the time, my siblings and I. And I will say that by the time my father took that decision in 1991, that was when I began to get exposed to selling. So I started selling oranges.
From the farm?
Yeah, from the farm, from my father's farm. So he will come back with bags of oranges, and then I had to sell. Back then I was 11 years old.
Wow.
So I started taking the wheelbarrow full of oranges to the farm. And the beautiful thing, when it has to do with marketing, I can say my father, those periods really made me understand how good products actually sell, or the entire marketing, thing happens. So the oranges were very good products. They were very, very sweet to lick at the time. And so by the time I get to the market, I usually didn't spend up to 1 hour, and the entire wheelbarrow will be bought over by people. And then I'll go back to the house, carry another one again, just like that. But then it got to a point where my father had to be bringing the bags himself. So he took the bags to the market while I had the wheelbarrow with me. And so the bags were by my side. People will finish buying, I'll pour another set into the wheelbarrow. People will buy them off, I'll pour another set.
Were you getting paid in any way?
Yeah, well, my father wasn't paying me. It was just the money, from the oranges. After selling, I'll take all the money back to him. So he wasn't.
You didn't get
paying
any
me at the
commission.
time. No
Just,
commission
well
whatsoever.
done, my son.
Not now that I know what affiliate commissions are, but just because I was a son, that was all. So I'll just take all the money back to him, for running the house and paying school fees and all those other things. So I think that was early but I didn't really know that I was going to go into business. I was just doing it because I needed money.
Exactly, because you ended up studying engineering in school.
So to raise money for the family, at the time. So
why did you decide to study engineering though?
Well, I think why I wanted to study engineering was that was in my when I was young. Actually, I saw a plane flying and seeing that plane, and it wasn't a bird. Like, how did this thing get into the air like that? You know how planes take off and they are big, and then they start getting to the air, and then they start looking small. So it's like, how did this big thing get into the air like that? How big it was. Look at using myself as an example. Like, you try to want to fly.
Yeah.
So you jump off, like you jump from the wall, and then you find yourself going down instead of going up. So you start asking. Okay, I started asking, why, how come? So my answers came in JS3. When I met one of the seniors, I was like, okay, the people who do those things are called aeronautical engineers.
Yeah.
And so if I wanted to build an aeroplane, I needed to study aeronautical engineering. And so I decided I was going to study aeronautical engineering.
Okay.
But by the time I got to SS3, reality dawned that there were no universities really offering it here in Nigeria at the time. And so the other alternative was for me to go abroad, but my father didn't have the money for me to go abroad. And so I started thinking of alternatives. Okay, what other engineering course that I could study that was related to aeronautical engineering? And so I had three options: mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, and petroleum engineering. It wasn't as if petroleum was connected, but by then I had already started understanding that money needed to be made. So which engineering courses would give me the money?
True.
And so mechanical was actually my third option. My first option was chemical engineering, then petroleum, and then mechanical. But then eventually, I didn't get up to the cutoff mark for chemical engineering, and then I made close to the cutoff mark for mechanical. Mechanical was 241, then I had scored 237. And so that was how I got
mechanical.
So I got into mechanical engineering.
So what was the university like for you? Did you do business in school, or
No, I didn't do business
solely
school.
focused on school?
I was solely focused on school. I was what was called a triangular student at the time. Triangular students were known for going from the hostel to school, from school to Buka and back. I wasn't even attending fellowships. I was just focused on my books.
You're not a Christian boy in school.
I wasn't really. My friends will invite me to go to their fellowships. I would just go, but I wasn't really what they would call gym guys, gym brothers at the time. So I'll just go normally, make friends. I think I was even popular amongst the girls in those fellowships at the time. So whenever I arrived, they all loved my presence, that kind of stuff. And then get back to the hostel to read. Even I had scholarships at the time, but I had money. From my second year, I started having money from my scholarships. I had like 7 scholarships to my name at the time. Some of them were paying 50,000 naira. So imagine you are getting paid 50,000 naira, and then your entire expenditure for the semester will be maybe around 20k or even 30 max. So I had like
you had 20 for yourself.
So I had 20 for myself. 20 extra.
This was what year?
One scholarship.
Just so people understand.
This was 1998.
What 20,000 naira?
This was 1998. When you could feed with 10 naira. So you could buy gari and meat and fish for 10 naira, 10 bucks. If you spend 20, you're a big boy. So imagine that I had 50,000. I had 20k. So let's say in a semester of 3 months, that's like, let's say give or take 90 days. And then every day you spend, say, 30 naira. So multiply 30 by 90. That's like 27,000 naira. So imagine that I had 50k from one scholarship. Then I had multiplied by 7, the extra money that was on top.
Wow.
So I was balling. But I didn't want to ball the way some guys were actually balling.
Okay.
So I wanted to have boundaries that could curtail whatever, let me call it adolescent desires I had at the time. So I had to stay in the hostel. The hostel gave me that boundary not to become excessive. And so I think I remember a time when one of my guys in the class bought a Mercedes-Benz, those Mercedes-Benz back in the days. And the guy was using it to just intimidate us, like all the girls were. Back then in Futo, the girls loved the guys who had the brains, and the girls loved the guys who are bad guys. You get. So imagine you now combine being a bad guy, and then you had brain. And so because of the guy, I was like, man, this car where they used to make mouth, I go buy him. So I went back home and I told my father I wanted to buy a Benz. My father was like, if you buy it, I will burn it. Because I didn't need it.
Yeah.
But because of how the guys in class were like, with their Benz, they would see us on the road because they had Benz, they would, So I think I thank my father. If I had bought that Benz, who knew where I would have been? Maybe not to the carry babes every day they go class, that kind of stuff. But I had money. I wasn't poor. I wasn't a poor student by any standard. I could afford my books. I could pay whatever the lecturers wanted us to pay. But then I wasn't really lording it over my classmates because I knew they are the ones who were also poor amongst us. So it wouldn't be that they would say, buy handout. And I say, how much is it? I'll just pay. No. I would still keep quiet in class. They would do all the negotiations, eventually come up with an amount, and then I would just pay. Sometimes I would pay for my fellow classmates like that. Those who I felt were really in need for it and could actually read. So university was fun for me. I was the best student in my class from first year to my final.
So it's not this one that parents used to say, go and check. I used to carry first. They actually proved.
I was the best right from my first year to my final year. I was the best student in the class.
Beautiful. I mean, that means this engineering thing was really your.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. In school, I was a triangular student. I was always reading. And I was a solo guy, meaning that I wasn't the kind of guy that would go to the class and everybody is on the table reading.
And you joined them, yeah.
I had a way of. I tried it. I just knew I wasn't a type. So I would go to school, see them all clustered together reading. It wasn't my thing. So I would wait for everybody to leave the hostel, and then I would stay in the hostel to read. So that was my style, solo. So I was doing my thing solo. I felt that my comprehension was better. And even in my life right now, I mean, with all the ideas I get, I still go back and I have to think by myself. And then I come up with the best idea that I will execute.
Did you job hunt for so long after school?
Well, I didn't really job hunt for so much. I think for long. I finished university 2003, and then we did our convocation. By 2004, I had gone for youth service. By September 2005, I had finished youth service. So I got the job March 26th, 2006.
Dates.
That was that was when I got. I can't forget that kind of date now. So, but in between that, when I finished the service, and that was another time that I knew what life was really. Because finishing from university, I was like, okay, I was the best student after all. Job, I won't really stress to look for a job after all. I say I get brain, right, brother? I failed tests like I failed mobile, I failed Shell. I was just failing tests. I was like, what was failing in the sense that my name was not published as amongst those who passed the first. To the point, my mom was like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Did you really pass your exams? How come you're not able to pass, this test? I don't know. I can't really say what happened. I remember one time, a friend of mine, that girl is late now. She's dead now. I remember how we were friends. I went to check my Schlumberger test result at the cyber cafe where she was working. When I saw the result, man, I was downcast. She could see that I was experiencing some pain as a result of news that I met. I saw, and she came over, and that was how we became friends. But she's late now. She had an accident, and they think didn't heal until she eventually passed on. So, then at some point, I was like, no. My guys were writing bank tests, but I didn't like the feeling of working in the bank. So, but eventually I said, okay, let me go and test. And I went and I wrote the BA test. And then I was the third in the whole number of people who came there. There were like thousands in that center. And then I went for the interview. But as I was just talking during the interview, it was a panel interview. One guy was just looking at me as I was just talking. And they looked at my CV, looked at my results, and I was like, guy, you won't survive in this bank. And I was like, no, sir, I can survive. Oh, no, I can do. Oh, no, trying to prove.
Yeah.
He said, you can't survive. But anyway, let's see how it goes. I didn't really get called up for that. But I think in retrospect, that guy really knew who I was. knew that I wouldn't survive because I don't know. So because most of my guys will start by counting money, and some of them will be there 1 year. I made many of them in different banks, and I was like, how would I be counting money? Thank God I didn't even pass because I would have been there counting money at the counter. So, but then it happened that I did a test for Accenture, formerly Anderson Consulting, and I passed. So I started going through a series of interviews. So it was while I was doing interviews in Lagos that I got a call from someone in Saipem. She was the assistant, the PA the secretary, to the then general manager of the company at the time. And so this is Emeka Nobis say, yes, some of your friends who came for interview nominated you because you were the best student in class.
Nice.
Would like you to come for an interview in Saipem. Where are you now? I said, I'm in Lagos. Okay, we can see how we can schedule your interview in Lagos. Give me some days. She called back after a few days. I was like, no, they couldn't, schedule the interviews. I needed to go down to Port Harcourt. So I had to go down. And my interview with Accenture, I think that was the final stage. So I went down to Port Harcourt from Lagos. It was just like a conversation. So the Italian guy called in 2 Nigerians. His Pastore is his name, Saverio Pastore, I can't forget. And so Pastore had the conversation with me, called in 2 other Nigerians, Kimba and Desmond. And they came in, just gave me 2 questions, and I answered. One was practical, one was just, normal real life. And then I answered, and the man looked at me and said, when would you like to start? Like, okay, let me go and think about it. Because they wanted me to be in the office to work.
Okay.
But he said, I will fit into the yard to be on site. So I said, okay, let me go and think about it. So I went back home and I told my dad was like, so you told the white man that you wanted to think about it. Why didn't you tell him immediately?
You're starting on Monday.
Yeah, you started immediately. Not Monday, self. Now. So I took my phone and called the woman. I was like, okay, I'll start on Monday. So that was how I started out. I went to the office to meet the man on the Monday. He called in the construction manager, handed me over to Vincent. His name is Vincenzo Gengrave. So Gengrave called the assistant and handed me over, Paolo Gallo. Paolo now took me in his car. Then he started driving me around the site, telling me things and all that. And that was how I started though.
What was your starting salary?
Yeah?
What was your starting salary?
The starting salary at that time was 50,000. That was my very first salary.
What year?
March 2006. That was the first salary I got. It was because I had started 26th of March, so it wasn't full salary. By the next month, it was 100K. So 3 days after, I was called to the office, and Pastor was like, would you like to go to Arbatax? Like, where's Arbatax? He said, Italy. I looked back. Was it me? He was. And that was how I found myself on the plane on the 3rd of May, 2006. And I was taken to Italy for a year. So I was there for 1 year. I was coming back 3 months back to holiday for 3 weeks and go back again to Italy.
For 1 year. Were you married then?
No, I was single, 26.
Oh, okay.
I was single at the time, so we were just balling, enjoying life.
So they
were paying us double. So they will pay us in Nigeria, they will pay us in Euro. But then, so we were receiving our salaries in Nigeria were just cooling and resting for us. So whenever we got back, we also dip our hands into the one. So we were just balling, man, back and forth for that year.
Did you date white women?
Nah, I didn't want to date a white woman because all the stories I heard at the time was, man, if you get involved with a white woman, who knows legal implications, and so I was just at some point, even one of the Italian guys was like whether I was a homosexual at the time because they were not seeing me with any lady like that. So I had 3 female friends, who would hang out, but nobody would see me with one particular lady at the time. I was just scared. I don't know. I was just scared. Even though there was one I would have dated, but I was just scared. I didn't want it to be like I will now be with this lady and who knows, anything could happen and then it will now be that I will now stay back in Italy.
Yeah, come boy you.
But there was one who was very close to me, The lady loved my presence. She would take me to the woods, just the two of us walking around, Paula. But I don't know where she is today. I've tried to get in touch, checked her name online, can't find her. But she was very nice.
She was a good woman.
Very, yeah. So I didn't. I just generally befriended all of them.
So you stayed in Cyprus for how long?
10 years.
10 years. And then decided it was time to move on.
Yeah, but before I left, I had already planned that I was going to leave. So I took my time to plan my exit.
Okay.
I didn't just wake up one day and decided to leave. So I had to plan
Just in case you're working a job, this is like golden lesson moment. This is like golden lesson moment. I want to quit my job. I want to do my own thing. You need to have a plan first. Don't just jump out and say, I want to quit my job.
But as I'm growing in life, I think there are certain things that just tend to knock off the beliefs that we used to have before. Like plan. But I've seen individuals who never had a plan. They just got to work that day and like, fuck.
I'm leaving this place.
And they just stood up and left. And life didn't really turn out bad for them.
Yeah.
Do you get? So I feel like planning is good actually. I don't know if I would have done such a thing, but I just needed to plan. Because by 2010, I was already married. So someone was connected to my life, and I wouldn't just want to just up and leave without proper planning. So, yeah.
Nice.
So it was a good 10 years of my life in the company. Learned things I had to do with organizational management, dealing with people, office politics, this kind of things. And that's serving me now that I'm running my own businesses. So the things I learned, I'm using them now.
So when you were leaving Cyprus, what did you plan that you were going to start doing?
This speaking and writing thing.
Okay, so you were already speaking before you left?
Yeah, I had already started speaking.
Okay.
Yes, I had already started speaking.
What was it like when you started? How did you discover your flair for speaking, writing, coaching, and all
speaking,
that?
I think, is what I call my secondary talent. My first primary talent is my writing. So I started writing. So I was writing, Facebook, and then I started writing emails to my colleagues in the office. So I had observations. My observations were that some of them had issues working for their bosses. Some of them had issues at home. Some of them didn't know how to even do themselves better beyond the job. And so I was writing emails. So I get all the emails of my colleagues. I was writing emails.
You used to ask them, give me your email, I want to write
just
you.
give me your email, I want to write you. And then I was writing emails 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday,
3 times a
Friday.
week?
Yeah. So not be today where email marketing starts for me. So writing emails to them on different things. I remember the one that made me launch the book, I Got a Tough Boss, Buy Him a Banana, was when I started writing about boss and employee relationship. And many of them were seeing things from my angle. Partly, one of the things was that, there's this thing in companies where you have been on the job for, say, 5 years, and you have really gotten lots of experience. And then you're expecting that you'll be the one to head the team. And then they bring someone from outside and say, and you find out that the individual they brought from outside is not as experienced as you are. So back then, you find individuals trying to undercut those guys so that they will look bad before the management. Because the inside out, this guy is just coming from somewhere. And most times they are foreigners. So they either bring Italians, or they bring Portuguese, or they bring someone who's not a Nigerian. And then you find some individuals trying to undercut them. So that, because if you're not productive, the company will like, oh, this guy that we brought is not even actually productive, And so I used to tell them, the best way is to go under. The best way to get the best from this guy that has just come is to go under. What I mean is to respect, be the person's right-hand man. And I was doing it and I was winning. So they will bring someone to head me. And sometimes I find out that this guy knows nothing about the job. I'll be the one to teach my superior. I'll take the person on side, show them things, and teach them. Meanwhile, they're the boss. So now I'm the person's advocate. I become the person's right-hand man. Like when I want to not to come to work on Saturdays, or I have something else I'll do, they say, Nobis, go. So I began to teach them. It's not by trying to undercut or try to shout or try to antagonize you can actually get the best by being the second.
Makes sense. Now, the next question I'm going to ask you is about how you start making money online and all that. But just before I do that, guys, this show is sponsored by Kaizen Digital Academy. Just to put that out there. Kaizen is an online education platform where you can learn skills that can in turn help you make money online. So you want to check the description. There's a link to go check out Kaizen and start using it today. Okay, so back to the show. How did you decide to start charging people for the things? Because I know when you started out, you didn't start out charging people. You're just writing, you're just doing stuff.
I was just writing.
Yeah.
But right from the very get-go, I had this thing people used to say about writers. They are poor people, they are peasants, they don't make money. So I felt like I don't want to be like these guys. At the beginning, I don't want to be like these guys who just write. They are broke, they're just writing. So from the get-go, I had like a picture of me balling that I wanted to be the kind of writer that when I come out, people say, this guy is just a writer. Many of them are hermits, and many of them they are not given to showmanship. Like hardly at the time we see a writer that say, riding the best car or living in a mansion.
Yeah.
Not like now that people are called writers and you can see them really balling, And so I said I really want to be like them. So somewhere in my head, making money from the writing was just hanging, but I didn't know how. So I had to study the how. So I had to start out by attending trainings.
Okay.
One of the trainings I had at the time was how to grow my platform, because I met a man called Emeka Nobis online, and he kept on talking about growing your platform, becoming this guy that people will be, people will love, people will want to buy from. And so then he was charging $30 per month. The exchange rate at the time, I think, was 90 naira. I can't remember, either 90 or 100 naira. So I was paying like 3,000 a month for my salary, to attend. So I was in his subscription-based membership site for a year or so. So Mike hired to teach how to grow a platform, how to do your branding, how to be, the voice and all that. So I was learning. And then they started teaching how to charge money, for just place a fee and charge. So, at the beginning it was scary at some point, because I did certain things that didn't really pan out well. Some individuals who told me to write for their blogs and that they will pay me eventually ended up not paying me. So those were learning experiences and curves. And so I think when I now became very, let me say, solid about charging was when Muteefe had a conversation with me that he was charging 3,000 naira to have people chat with him. I was like, what? 3,000 to chat where? Facebook Messenger. I said to Mute, I will charge 5,000. I didn't know where that came out from. And so I started charging.
They're trying people to chat.
Yeah, to chat
So
with me.
basically,
So
they want to consult their
they want
chats.
to talk to me. I'm like, for an hour, have what I charge for this, all this. Back then, people, when they start seeing you coming into the limelight, they'll send you questions, answer this one, answer. I'm like, man, no. You have to pay for me to answer these questions. And then that was how I started charging. And then from there, I started learning how to create courses, how to create these two products and all that. And then that's how we've been building. And then the public speaking thing, I wasn't really charging to speak at the time.
Okay.
Until I now, Steve Harris now announced his coaching program where he could teach the
Business of talents.
business
That's
of
MPT.
talents. Yeah.
Okay.
At the time, I was very first student at the time.
Wow.
So and then I signed up. I was paying 40K a month. I think that was 2012 or so. So I paid him, and then after work, and Steve Harris would start chatting on BBM. He would tell me what he does, what he was doing, and all that. And I think after the 3 months, I was able to charge for my first speaking fee. And that was in Goa, Winners Chapel.
How much was it?
50K for 45 minutes.
Beautiful.
I felt like as if I was a fraudster, man. Man, 50K for 45 minutes. Jeez, that was.
Waiting that they can't talk.
That was mad, though, And I remember getting back home, taking 20K and practically stoning my wife for the 20K. Said, man, take and enjoy.
Go and enjoy yourself.
You know what I mean? So,
Your husband is a speaker.
yeah, I'm a speaker, man. I've arrived, that kind of stuff.
Oh my God.
And so from there, from 50 to 100, from 100 to 150, 150 to 200, 200 to 500K, and now it's 1.5, and people are
Beautiful.
People are paying.
Beautiful.
Though I don't get as many, but I mean, if I could do 2 or 3 in a month, that's 4.5. That's good.
I mean, I like how you keep things real and honest,
that's what
and
it is.
simple. Because some people may come and say, "Oh, I'm always booked out."
No, I'm not booked out. I can't lie. I won't lie. If I were not charging that amount, I would be
you're probably
booked
out every time.
consistently.
Yeah.
But then I'm looking at my energies now. I'm looking at my energies in the sense that I could create something online, and I'm conserving energies, and that thing is
Make more money
making
than
more money. So why would I want to
travel for?
to go to all the places to speak when I can equally stay on my platform, and then I do something that people are watching me. So I conserve my energies, but then I also give some leverage to my guys.
Yeah.
Like, when they invite me to go to speak, I can say fine, take care of my accommodation, take care of my transportation. If you have a small token you want to give me, fine, then I go, because you still have to oil the relationships. Everything, we don't just charging them for money all the time. Do you get? So sometimes I just go speak, and they don't pay me. It's just to oil that relationship, because it could lead to bigger platforms. I know some of them have given me platforms that made me money. So if I had charged, maybe they would that kind of thing.
True.
So, but then people come to me and I tell, this is my charge, even virtually. Like, if you invite me to come speak virtually, the one guy reached out to me, wrote all the things he wrote, I should come and speak on Twitter Space. I'm like, do you know I charge for virtual speaking? Like, I gave him 500K. The guy blanked out till today. He hasn't reached out to me, and that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. The beautiful thing about it is that the story spreads. So people will say, Emeka charges that, Emeka charges that. And the more people hear,
The right person will eventually.
the right
come.
person will say, oh, okay, I want to pay him.
Now you've launched over 15 books, authored over 15 books,
11 printed books.
11 printed books,
Yes.
plus other
Ebooks. Yes, ebooks. Many of them are kind of free that I give away.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, what was your first book, publishing your first hard copy book like? How did it sell and how was it?
It didn't sell well. I'm even ashamed of talking about
What was the title of the book?
The Profound Life.
The Profound Life.
So you can imagine that kind of title. With me wearing coat in front, and then an eagle somewhere flying in at the
An eagle,
top of the boat, yeah.
as per Holy Spirit.
So it didn't sell really good. I did about 200 copies, 200 sales, and it tanked at that point. I didn't know jack about marketing and selling books at the time. I just felt like, okay, the book will come out, people will buy for a year. Some of those books were almost those sales were even PT sales.
Oh,
Like,
like your family and friends. Emeka wrote a book, let's support him.
Support
Oh.
him, And then I was selling at 1,000 at the time.
Wow.
A majority of the 1,000 were bought by, majority of the sales, like, let's say 100 were bought by my colleagues at Saipem at the time.
Okay.
Welders, pipe fitters, those who were on site. And they even spent another 1 month before they waited till salary came before they even gave me that 1K at the time. So it wasn't, I ended up giving away.
What year was this?
That was 2011.
2011.
Yes.
Wow.
So I ended up giving away those books, just dashing people. So the book, one of them, the one copy is still on my shelf. I'm thinking of unbundling the book, taking each of the chapter and maybe turning it into an ebook that can be there for people to download, maybe for free or for just small amount of money. But I've not embarked on that project yet. Still there, I will still do it.
So you've moved from that to publish 11 hard copy
11
books right
printed
now.
books, yes.
So what was the turning point for you? When did you learn how to market better? And how did the results start
Yeah, it
coming?
was that 2011. Since I made those, I had those very, let me say, stupid results from the sales. I decided to guy, I won't write any book anymore. Let me understand what marketing the book was all about. So I started learning, started attending conferences, signing up for boot camps, seminars, both Nigerians. Well, I didn't really have a Nigerian idol, so to say, that was keenly on. If you check now, even in Nigeria, how many really speak about book marketing compared to the way I speak about it? That's to tell you. So I didn't really have a Nigerian symbol to look at. So we were mainly foreigners, Americans, the John Maxwell, the I mean, some of them may not even know their names, but they are heavy on marketing. So I was studying, attending their seminars, both paid and free ones. And so 2017, so check 2011, 2017, I didn't write a book. So 2017, I came out with another book. It was an ebook, and it did 3 million in 90 days.
Wow.
Yeah, not a printed book.
How much was it?
Then I was selling for 1,000 naira still, an ebook at the time. So I was selling and selling.
And in 90 days, you did
Yes.
that was 3 million, like 3,000 sales.
Yeah.
Thereabouts. How did you do that? How did you do that?
Marketing. Shouting.
So you basically come online every day, you make posts about it.
Making posts and other things. I had to learn a lot of other things. Creating other offers that could come with the book. Creating other levels.
Yeah.
For example, somebody buys your book, there's another level, just like that. So now I'm always like last Saturday I saw a book. One guy gave me a book as a gift, and I opened it and I saw the bookmarker. On that bookmarker was something about his offer. So when you buy the book, you go on a 30-day mentorship journey with him. I was like, man, this is good. So with that marker now, I can decide on my next launch to use a marker that will drive people to my website to see other products of mine. So I'm always in my head, I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. And then I have never done buy a book, come on a mentoring journey. So I'm like, oh, this is another good thing. And the book was written in 31 chapters. So you see, that 1 month journey is 1 chapter per day, chapter per day. So I could do a launch of a course, maybe on a leadership course, right? A leadership book on leadership.
Yeah.
Like the one I'm planning to write, Leadership is Not for Stupid People. I can have 31 chapters in the book. And then I can say, for those who during the pre-launch, those who buy the book, you come on a one month journey with me, where every day we are looking at one thing on leadership, next one leadership, just like that. And it could be a video course. It could be I can turn it into a video course. Like I record 30 videos.
Yeah.
And we use a platform like there's one I saw, evercoach.com or something like that. And every day everybody comes in there, I drop one video, you watch. And then we can do a Zoom session where everybody comes in. So like 30 days like that.
Makes sense.
And then I can keep doing it in batches. So that was the idea I also got from that book. So I mean, it's ever like today now I had a conversation with a lady. These people that sell these digital boards. I don't know if you've seen it. Like when you go into the supermarket, those digital boards that they use in advertising
Displaying stuff. Yeah.
So the girl reached out to me. I'm like, they sell it. I'm like, how much? She said $2,000 per one. I'm like, man, that's about 1.4. So in my head, imagine during my conversations with the Don, I have that thing like
you have it.
I have it like 20
in the hall.
So imagine that on this side,
Yes.
you have like 10 of them spaced with their bright lights. Imagine that you're sitting in that hall and the thing is high. It reaches up to that window. And on each side of the hall, like 10 of them. So each one coming up with bright picture of my book with the website. And they are different. I mean, sometimes the display lasts like 2 or 3 minutes, depending on how you set it. So each one of them, website coming up. Imagine what you can do with that. That's marketing on its own. And then I could also rent it out to companies or to brands. So if I'm doing an event like that, I'll have 1,500 people. As I'm displaying my own, people are also other brands. That's money also that can come in. So it's always about understanding new ways to do. At some point, I had already thought how to market in an airplane. Well, I've not seen any airplane like that yet in Nigeria. Like you're sitting down, and the seat opposite you on that thing you're looking at, it's something to market. It could be video that is playing and it's marketing someone's product. I don't know if domestic flights do that in Nigeria yet, but I mean, I'm already thinking about. Also, imagine when you go into toilets to go and pee.
I heard that idea.
You get what I mean? You're peeing. When you're peeing, men, we don't really look down.
Yeah.
We're looking at the wall. So imagine where I can place my advert there as a man is peeing. But it may not really work for selling books. It could work for maybe sexual products. Sex.
That's like a great spot.
That's a great spot. So if you are traveling from here to Lagos and you get to Ore, You know that place where people go to peace. You know how many men that are going there to peace, and you're selling a sex enhancement drug there or something. I mean, because as you're piecing, you're not looking at your men. Don't look. They look straight and they're looking at except you want to see the color of your piece if you're okay or not. But then they're looking. So there's so many things. Also using these guys that dry cleaners.
Yeah.
So imagine that dry cleaner, you have a deal with dry cleaner that for every clothes that is ironed, they slide
stuff your flyer
your flyer there. You know what that could. I mean, so many ideas that you can utilize to market.
Oh. Now you've grown over time from 2011 and you started intentionally writing until now, and you have over 100,000 followers.
Yeah, 104 at the moment.
104,000 followers on Facebook right now. How are you able to build that audience?
A lot of strategies that come together. Basic thing is content creation on a daily basis. So I write close to 20 pieces of content every day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like today now, you guys have been on Twitter. Said, let me get back. So thankfully, a young boy came to me and was like, "Sir, let me convert all your posts into tweets." Okay. And today he sent me 21 tweets and he said 3 tweets per day. That's fine. So I went on TweetDeck and I've scheduled all the tweets from now till Sunday.
Makes sense.
In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. In the morning, I don't need to be there now. The thing will be. So basically, it's content creation. Every day I create pieces of content and a whole catalog of things that I do. Connection to individuals, real life. When I go to speak at events, I will tell them that 45 minutes are not enough for me to teach you. So go click this link. You get seven books of mine for free. And as you're clicking the link, one of the messages I would drop for you is to follow me on Facebook. So they follow. So that's how my followers keep increasing. And then I do live streams with people. Right now, I used to do live streams. Before, I used to do live streams where the live stream will only be showing on my timeline.
Yeah.
But using StreamYard now, it can show on mine and it can be showing on yours.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so you become, but that's for higher level. So now I paid $49 a month.
Oh.
And then what happens that when I want to go live with you, I make you a team member.
Oh.
Then you add your profile.
Oh,
so when I'm about to go live, I'll click yours as a destination. So as I'm live, people are seeing you on your timeline. People are seeing me on my own timeline.
Makes sense.
So that way, I'm exposed to your brand.
Yeah, and I'm exposed
Your
to
people
your brand,
follow me. And that's how and then because of what I do consistently, people now tag me. Like I wake up to this morning I've had close to 5 tags. People mentioning me. Emeka Nobis did this one. Emeka Nobis did this one. Emeka Nobis taught me. Emeka Nobis showed me this one. I mean, sometimes when I read the post, I'm like, waiting my name to find inside this post. I mean, if you don't put my name, people don't go read your posts. Like I read, I'm like, why is my name even here in the first place? But it's a good thing because you've become a symbol. So people read the post and they go check out who Emeka Nobis is and they follow, just like that. Public speaking too. When I go to events to speak at events, the way I speak, people go check me out and all that. So it's a catalog of different things that I do to be able to, and then you put in money from time to time also to get your name out there. From time to time, I pay influencers. Sometimes I reach them, and I like yesterday I reached out to
that's lady,
yeah. And then I was like, okay, how much do you charge? Because I've seen that you charge. I want to pay. She was like, Namo, don't pay. I will do it for free for you. I was like, okay, fine. I gave her my content and she posted it. I know how many women who flowed from that post she made to my timeline, and that's how I keep increasing gradually. Right now, I'm willing to bring up money to truly push myself using paid ads. I want people to know me much more than so. I'm willing to spend money now.
Got it. So now there are people out there that are trying to they're building their social media audience, are trying to do. What would you say are the top 3 things you advise them not to do when you want to build a brand on just on social media?
Okay, the first thing I would like them to do is that number 1, don't follow all these people who will be doing Ms. You're writing right. You want to write Ms.
Yeah, MHIZ. Ms. It's Pinkyberry.
All those
possible
funny stuff that people do online. If you want to catch fun, fine, but if you want to follow this path that we are on, that we touch people's lives and people know us, people get blessed by what we do, then do it correctly. Put your name correctly, put your good profile picture correctly, and then secondly, define what it is that you want people to know define what you want to know. What you want people to know you for. Like when they mention marketing, what they think about. When they mention books, what they think about. When they mention your name, and then double down on it. Keep creating content on it. Gradually, people will get to know who you are, and they keep following you. And finally, would be don't join them in doing all the what they call it, all the dragging thing they do on social media, the catch cruise and all that. Someone had dragged me, or not dragged, somebody had made a very nasty sentence, because you're at the back and you're just on the keypad, only to see me in real life. The guy became he melted like a poppy, all those kind of things. So don't just, be humane, be civil, be focused, and be specific in what you do, man. You keep climbing. That's my piece of advice.
Good. You said you post over 20 times every day.
Don't be like
online.
Me. Don't be like me.
How are you able to come up with content like that? Because I need to post about different things, not just teaching and not. How are you able to come up with those kind of?
Because I'm always observing. Like now that we are here now, I've taken pictures now. It's content that I'll write about. Somebody can pick it and say, "Oh, wow, look at the setting. Look at what Joseph Dawn is doing.
Yeah.
Let me go and do my own." So content is not just about me selling. It's about me inspiring the soul. It's about me making people to get out of their laziness and do something. So I'm always looking around. I'm always observing. I'm always listening. I'm always thinking, what can I do to be a blessing to someone? Which idea can I share? That's it, basically. So content is all around us. All around. This flower is content. Your shirt is content. This mic is content. People here are content. So I look and I can create content. I can create content without, see the way she's carrying that laptop. I can create content by taking pictures. You get what I mean? So just me and how I choose to operate. But I'm not telling people to write 20 pieces of content like I do. Just do something, even if it's one, even if it's two, but be consistent on a daily basis. That's something go out from you that people want to, consume.
I get it. Now, a lot of people do things online. They sell books, they sell courses, they make money. But most of the time, you cannot really point to this person as somebody that has money, because they do this thing where they make money one time and then they blow it away because they're expecting that more money is coming on the way, and then sometimes more money doesn't come. So with all the marketing activities you do, the products you sell, the books you sell, the courses you sell, when you make money, what do you do with the money exactly?
So the thing is this, I see a lot of people do this thing online and it makes me laugh. Like they want to pepper people. Why should I be living my life wanting to pepper someone else? It's like I'm handing over power. Like the significance of my life lies in your definition of me. No, it doesn't make sense. And so they be constantly under pressure to always show up. And it's not. I want to live my life. I want to be, if I earn, I earn. So when I make money online, I use it for different things. It could be to carry out a project, like in December when I did the one I did with how to grow a social media audience. I use it to, put my house in order, because my children had put their hands all over the wall and everything. So I had to repaint the walls, bought new set of seats, put new chandeliers in the sitting room. The house is still not, the shape that I wanted, but at least it was a project that I carried out.
Yeah.
I can also put money into marketing. I can also put money, like some of the monies went into taking stakes in about 3 companies.
How many businesses do you run now?
5. So I have 20% stake in, I have 20% stake in one, I have 40% stake in another one, I have 50% stake in another one, and then mine that I'm running fully, and then the real estate company that I have 20% stake in. So now those monies, it's not as if they are plenty like that, 2 million here, 3 million there, do you get? And I just take those stakes and we keep building. And so I'm not living my life for anybody. I'm not here to prepare you.
Yeah.
I'm not here to show you the car I'm driving. I'm not here to show you, if I need to do those things, I'm doing them because I want to do them, not because I want someone to define me by virtue of the things that they're seeing. Do you get? That's what it is.
Nice. You have a close-knit circle of friends. You call them the masterminds.
Yeah.
How are you able to build relationships like that, nurture those kind of relationships and all that?
It starts with you first and foremost. If you're a Jonesy man, you Jones. It's just a way, because I wanted to have individuals in my life that are intentional.
Yeah.
I constantly seek out individuals who are intentional with their own lives. And we didn't come up to say, let's we were just friends. 5 of us were just friends. We go to events, we see each other, we talk, we relate, just like that. Separately, me and Nnamdi, me and Olumati, just like that. So one day we're all together. We're like, why don't we form? I think it was when I took all the 5 of them, all of us out. I said, guys, let's go. I will sponsor. That day, I think I spent close to 50K or so on food. So that was how it just formed. Nothing else. We were just in the midst of chopping. So why don't we build on one another's strengths, each other's strength, And that was how we formed it. We didn't even give it a name initially. We were just going. Until one day like that, somebody just changed the name on the WhatsApp mastermind. That's how it just happened. So we didn't really go out in, let's go and form mastermind. We're just flowing with one another like that. Different events, meetings, how in their houses, just like that. Like I will visit Olumati. I will visit Richard. Sometimes I visit. And that was how we just visit Maple, And that was how. And today we are drawing on the strengths of one another. And it's better like that because when 4 people are supporting what you're doing, you know what it means.
Makes sense, yeah.
So, that's how it is.
Now,
like if I'm going to call, like imagine if I'm going to bring speakers to speak at my event, how much I'll be paying.
Yeah.
But your masterminds will just come,
True.
do the thing, give great value.
And give value because these people are really good at what they do.
Exactly.
Beautiful. How are you able to do all this though? Run Switch Parts, Emeka Nobis, Akara Boy, every other business you have taken, create content on your, because Emeka Nobis is also a full-time business as well. So that's like 6 businesses that you're running actually, right? How are you able to do all this, travel? You're almost always on the road. You're in Calabar today, you're in Abuja tomorrow, you're in Lagos, back to Port Harcourt, to Owerri. How are you able to do all of these things and balance your family life, being there for your kids, your wife, and every other person?
Okay, so it all boils down to having systems in place, basically, and the people that work for me. So in my office now, as we left, what I'm supposed to be doing, they're doing it.
By the way, he has an all-staff team, all-female staff team.
So what I'm supposed to be doing, they're doing it. So I have a great support. Where we have a real estate company, we have great staff there. The key thing that helps me to stay is consistently training them to do better. If I don't train them to do better at what they do, then it's much more work. I don't hide what is in my head for them to know. Because when they know, they will do better.
Yeah.
And it reduces pressure on me. You get, if everything is stuck in my brain and I can't empower them, that means everything will still lie on me to do. Then the companies that I've taken stake in, and the companies already have people working there. So I didn't go there to start out from the beginning. They already have people. So what I do is ideation, checks and balances, and everything is still moving on. Like Akara Boys, they called me this morning and they're okay, look at what's going on. We'll have a meeting tomorrow. That's it. I will not be going there every day to check Akara, check beans. What's my business there? Yeah. They already have people who are doing that on ground. So it's basically, you ask yourself, okay, people like Tony Lumelu, how are they surviving? It's because they have systems, and then you put people in place who understand the job and they are doing their jobs, and that's how you keep building, basically. Then you put a system in place that consistently trains them and improves them. If you look at Tony Lumelu, they already have retreats and meetings where all the heads are coming, because that's where they train them, that's where they make them better to go back and amplify what it is that they are already doing.
True.
Yeah.
True. And you have an amazing way. I said that was the last question. But you have an amazing way where you support people, especially young people that are upcoming. And is there a specific reason why you do that?
And I have an amazing leadership style that I don't look down on people. I don't tear people down with words. Those ladies in the office will tell you that I have never for once turned anybody down with words. And I don't equate somebody's job to money. Like you see people say, this money I'm paying you. Like I'm paying you salary. Like you're quitting a human being. How much money can you pay a human being to really nothing? You can't. It's not possible. So I have an amazing way that I do my leadership style. Always listening to people, always being there to encourage them, always there inspiring them. And that's it. And I believe that the young people will grow. Do you get what I mean? So when I support the young people, they will grow.
Yeah.
And when you have been part of their dreams and them getting to when they get to higher levels, they're the ones who will tear doors open and say, if you don't bring this guy in, nothing will happen here.
True.
You get what I mean? And the support is not about even giving money. Sometimes ideas. Sometimes being there when they want to cry. Like somebody has sent me a message now. Says she wants to come to the office to come and talk. And I know the talk is cry. I don't need to say anything. Just the fact that she has someone she's listening to, someone that she respects that's listening to her. Me, I'll just be like that. Okay. And last week, one came to my office and she was crying. And one was that I had to hold her because she was just sobbing. And my immediate neighbor was getting, so I had to go and hold her. But she left the office smiling and joyfully again. You think they'll forget those things? They won't. They will not. Except the ones who are just, I don't know how to say it in the
Are you not afraid sometimes? You know the incidents with the whole Happy Boys thing and that the Geo and all that, and something like that went south. Are you not afraid sometimes when you open yourself up to people?
It's on an individual now. Is it on me? It's on an individual. If you decide to be idiotic, it's on you. So people will drag me on finish online. But now I've even started learning how to do PR stuff. There's some things you won't talk. Just keep quiet and allow it. Within 24 hours, maybe another story will come. You carry the police or your blue, go that side, they'll forget you. So there are certain things you don't just open your mouth anymore. So it's all on them. If you feel like you want to be, it's your choice. It's your choice, basically. And I've had some that I promoted that messed things up.
Yeah.
So I just distance myself from them. Like 2 years down the line, they realized they are folly. And they came back to apologize. Yeah, I've forgiven them for what they did, but I'm still watching. I told one I may not be able to write about you anymore. I'm watching. He was pained about it, but I said, yeah, I just have to see if you have improved in capacity before I can talk again. Because I spent close to 6 months cleaning up his mess.
Okay.
Just because I put him out on my timeline. Do you get? And he keeps apologizing but then I'll watch you and see if you're really, So I believe in that, and I'm not afraid. I feel that if something goes south, that's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
This has been very, 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 very insightful. I feel like asking more questions, but we are totally out of time right now. Probably have another episode of Emeka Nobis where he comes to share more stuff. Until then, this is the Entrepreneurs Connect Show. You want to make sure you like this video. You want to make sure you leave a comment. Tell us what you learned. You also want to make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in another episode on the Entrepreneurs Connect Show. Take care of yourself and cheers.